Hello, Anna Marie from Just Stamp here. I am a paper crafter and Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, teaching you how to craft, have fun, and connect with the most important people in your life. Are you ready for some custom crafting? Stampin' Up! Kits are the best for new crafters or quick and fun crafting, but if you're ready to unleash your creativity, the possibilities are endless. Today I'm going to show you a clean and cute Christmas card using the super cute Santa Express suite of products. But first, let me show you some of the tools that I use for all of my crafts. Tools are the keys to your success as a crafter. So my first tip is grab your crafty tools. They are worth the investment. Remember, you get what you pay for. So here are the basic tools I use for crafting all the time. Let's see if I can get these into position and actually show you. So my number one tool is going to be my paper trimmer. Mine is a Stampin' Up! Trimmer that has all the right features. Blades for scoring, blades for cutting, measurements, everything that you need in a great paper trimmer. Next, my basic tool is are my paper snips. These happen to have a nice sharp short blade, perfect for snipping. I like to keep two sets of paper snips, one for paper and one for ribbon. Next is a bone folder. It has lots of purposes. One is to get nice crisp folds that make your projects look really professional. For most stamp sets, you will need a block. I love Stampin' Up's acrylic blocks. They are nice, top quality products. They do come in different sizes. My most used is block D. I also need basic black ink. I love to use the Memento Tuxedo black ink. Most of my projects need that ink. And I need adhesive. All kinds of adhesives. My go-to is the Tombow Mono or multi-purpose liquid glue. I also like to add depth and dimension with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. They are foam adhesive that you can apply to lots of images to make your projects pop. So those are the basic tools I use for most of my projects. Today, my project is going to include the Santa Express suite, which is in Stampin' Up's mini catalog. I love the cute images, the great colors, that beautiful red and the green. And specifically from this suite, I am going to be using the stamp set called Santa's Delivery. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and the reason that you need that block is because you're going to be taking your stamps straight off of the case. You're going to mount them straight onto the block and stamp away. All right, so there's my stamp set. I am going to be using a beautiful red paper called Poppy Parade, a basic white cardstock, and by the way, Stampin' Up's cardstock is the perfect weight for beautiful cards that will be kept and treasured as keepsakes. I also am using the designer printed paper called Santa Express. So in the paper pack, there are 2 sheets of each pattern. You're going to see some Santas in the train, lots of different images that you're going to use, and you're going to be able to do a lot with that paper. And then finally, to send your cards, you need the basic white envelopes. Again, Stampin' Up! Has the best quality envelopes. So let's get started on our project. We're going to craft away today, making a very super cute, simple card. I'm starting with that Poppy Parade paper, and I am going to go ahead and fold it. I've already cut it using my paper trimmer, and I have scored it right down the middle to get a nice crisp fold. Here's my bone folder that I'm using to make that fold. All right, so I've got my paper going there. I'm going to adhere one piece of that pretty patterned paper, and I'm going to mat it on a piece of basic white paper, and I am using my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. It is my go-to adhesive, and it is very economical. It's about $4 a bottle, and it will go a long way. Stampin' Up! Has the best tools again. This has a fine tip and it's also got a brush tip on the other side. And you can use it till the bitter end. Okay, so I'm now going to just adhere this right onto the mat. And I've got a tiny border that's going to peek out and show off this pretty paper, just like so. All right, next I'm going to add this to my card base, and again I'm going to use the same adhesive. The nice thing about the multi-purpose liquid glue is that it is aggressive adhesive. It's going to stick, but also I love it because it's friendly. If I don't land in just the right spot, I have a little opportunity to tweak it and push it to where I do want it to be. So I'm going to adhere that to the card base. So simple. I'm going to add one of those Santas that I snipped from the paper, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals to pop it up. So I flip it over. I have one sheet of the dimensionals, and again, these are very economical, about $4, a little over $4. You're going to get literally hundreds of these dimensionals. They come right off the sheet. They are sticky on one side. Once I'm ready to adhere them, I'm going to remove the backing, and it's going to be sticky again. It's going to land right on my project wherever I want. Flip this over, and I'm going to put it right into position on my card. There we go. Now I'm going to stamp my greeting. So in this case, I am going to use a greeting from the stamp set that says, Santa is coming to town. So let me see where I've got my ink. I've already shuffled things around on my desktop. I'm going to bring in my ink. I'm going to bring in a little scrap of basic white paper, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the black ink. Remember, I'm using my acrylic block. I've just pulled one of those stamps out of the case, and I've mounted it right onto the block. I'm going to stamp down. There we go. And I'm going to trim that off. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of my card as well. What I love about this stamp set, it's got greetings that you can use on the inside and the outside of your card. So the inside of my card is just going to say Merry Christmas. And again, I'm using Tuxedo Black. It is a go-to ink in my arsenal. There we go. And finally, I'm going to add one more little detail on the inside of the card. I'm going to use that tree. You'll notice how it's lying down, but custom lets you do whatever you like. I'm going to pull that stamp out of the case, and you're going to watch me mount it right onto the block. Ink up. And I'm going to stamp right onto the edge of the paper, almost like it's coming in from the edge of the paper. There we go. All right, we're all set. We're ready to adhere that into the card. I'm going to open up my card, and again, I'm using the multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a small amount of glue along the edge. So I tend to use not a lot because I don't want it oozing out from the edge of the paper and creating a sticky mess. So I've got my liquid glue, put that right into the center of the card, and I'm nearly done. I'm going to trim up that little greeting that I stamped just a second ago. And I'm going to snip just a tiny bit off the end. And it's a little bit wide, so I'm going to snip as well. You'll see I'm just using my paper snips. And then I'm going to make a little bit of an angle right in here. And this too is going to be popped up with one of those handy dimensionals. And I can support it nicely by putting one at each end, just like so. Pulling off the backing and adding it to the front of my card and putting it right into position, right behind Santa's train. Santa Claus is coming to town. Merry Christmas. All right, so there's my cute and simple card, right? But let's step it up a bit. Let me bring in another project that I created by adding some super cool tools. Now, the first tool I'm going to introduce you to Once you have decided that you want to step up your projects a bit, I recommend the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And just like the name says, the tool cuts and embosses, cuts as in fun shapes and images, and it embosses, it adds texture. So grabbing the coordinating dies, and in this case they're called Santa's train dies. This includes elements that you can add to your story, like the train tracks, and it will also cut the train and the cars, so you don't have to actually hand snip those. Makes it really super easy. I embossed the white so it looks like a snowstorm, and I finished it up by adding some embellishments. I used the Sparkle and Shine sequence embellishments, so you get plenty in the little container, and I just added them on with a tiny drop of glue in different positions. That gives my project a little bit of sparkle. Now, don't forget, you can also decorate your envelope. I stamped a little greeting right on the front of the envelope, but I'm not done yet. I have one specialty card, I like to call it. Sometimes stampers will call these fun folds. This is a card in a box. Look at that. How super cute is that? That will stand up, and yet the cool thing about it is it actually folds flat, and you can mail it in an envelope, in your standard envelope. So your recipient can put this on their mantle, put it on the shelf, and just enjoy and admire it. Now, this project tutorial, which includes 12 designs, is available free when you shop online with me. If you enjoyed this step-by-step crafting, I invite you to follow me on Facebook and on YouTube. You'll find me by searching for Just Stamp with Anna Marie. Now, if you think you're ready to custom craft, click on the link above to browse and shop today's projects. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, post them right below. I'm going to be checking throughout the boutique, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to share it with a friend. Thanks for watching.